Right. Game. Death. Game starts and the game ends. The game has rules. Life is a game. Is the universe a game because it has rules and reinvents itself again and again? What is the DNA of a game? A defined space and time, defined participants, maybe changing, interacting, developing themselves within the game, doing things or not doing things, coming to an end, having fun, enjoying themselves. And then the game dies in every turn, in every second. While the participants die, and still the game keeps going on. In the last game, Joe said, bad games die. How can we make our time here a good game?
If the games begin and die, but they keep coming back to be replayed, then did the game ever stop? Is it actually just a never-ending game? And those are just turns. So death is not the end of the game, that may be the end of the turn. Bad games die. Good games continue. Maybe. But the game that doesn't stop, that can always be played by the most number of people, seems to be the most fun game. And why play a game if it's not fun? Are we really playing if it's not fun? Or does it become something else the moment it ceases to be fun? Child's play. Easy game. The most dangerous game. Games, is the aspect of game fun? Is that the primary aspect? Or is it sincerity, willingness to immerse oneself into a reality that is predetermined and agreed upon, and to adhere to those rules without question, to suspend disbelief in order to play?
Sincerity and willingness to put to the side the urge to be free and put up my own rules, but stick to the bigger ones. What game are we playing at the moment? Coronavirus game? Lockdown game? What about the people? How willing am I? How sincere am I playing this game? How serious do I take the lockdown and the taking care of the bigger picture and the vulnerability of other people, and handing over my own rules and my own freedom in order to play the global game that we're just playing. Am I willing enough to put on this mask as the mask of the players at the moment? Am I sincere enough to see the bigger picture? A global game. That's a tough one at the moment. I wish we had a lighter one.
Mhm.
We have tough global games to play at the moment.
Coronavirus game, yeah. Playing the game and giving up our freedom, staying at home, social distancing. Don't hug your friends. Don't see your neighbors. Keep grandma in her room in the nursing home because the game is very serious. And yet, on the other side, is there a game of resist this? It is an attack on us. Do we either, so there's two sides to that game. Is there a way to exit both games, the meta game of this, to remain in a desired state that is not rooted in fear in both sides? I must resist. I must comply. Otherwise, death. Both sides are afraid of death. Both sides do what they do because of death, to avoid death. In other global games that we play, I know one called Economy. I know one called Religion, and it has various accents and dialects of this game. But they all say you must believe, you must act according to this belief, because ultimately, if you don't play this game and you don't play it right, it ends yet again in death. But not just one death, eternal death. Death for all time. So play very seriously this game.
Oh, can I go back into the sandbox again, not knowing? Rinse the sand through my fingers, dig into the cold and wetness of the sand below the dry one that is only rinning through my fingers. Oh, can I go back to sitting in the grass, ripping off the grass from where it was and picking up flowers and blowing the seeds into the air? Oh, can I go back to the heaps of leaves in autumn and throw them around and see the leaves fall around me? Can I go back to watch the pictures in the clouds, not knowing about what we have to deal with at the moment? Can I go back to the rhymes of childhood, jumping through the rubber bands spread out by my friends and the chalk paintings on the floor filled with numbers? And yet also these memories of games are filled with the other games, the mobbing, the grades at school, games we play.
The games that crowd out the games of childhood. Get your degree, get a good job, find a mate, start a family, increase the players, teach them to play, economy, and religion. One must be as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. What do children do? They play. You don't have to tell them to play. You don't have to instruct them how to play. You just have to get out of their way, and then they play. Until you build a system that says, play is not in here. You will hear a bell and you will have 30 minutes to play outside on the playground, isolated. One time, after lunch perhaps. Get all that energy out and then sit still again. And that's only for the young children. After that, we don't have time for play. We've got to work. We've got these tests. Hammer that play out. Because we have another game, economy. Keep it going, keep it moving. We've got to keep playing. Don't stop, don't look back, don't question, don't look up. Look at your desk, write, print, type, draw. As long as you get paid to play. Pay to play, pay to play.
What does consciousness do to the game? What does our consciousness do to the game? What game did we play when we invented payment, interest rates, fractalizing the game into the future? Get paid to play. Pay to be part of. Pay to be part of the game. The game that isn't play anymore. The game that isn't fun anymore. The game that even does not prevent us from death anymore, but brings it to millions and billions of life forms, even if we wear a mask, even if we stop all the flying and traveling. The rules that we invented will have an end and an outcome that is death.
Slave to the game, wage slavery. The wages of sin is death. It's a sin to not play. Death to sinners. Is it not? Is the definition of a master of a game not one who understands so thoroughly the game that they can move within the game, move within the rules, run circles around the others who don't understand the game? The meta gamer, the game of the game, gaming the game. And so the people who made interest, they saw the game, they understood the game, they saw into the future what could be done, how to manipulate the game and trap others, because that became the game. So first they became meta about the game they were playing, and then they created a new game, and they fell out of the meta game space into a new game that roped in and people who did not know they were playing this new game. And so they fell from grace, these masters, and they fell into temptation, the temptation to enslave, to manipulate, to take advantage of. But such power in understanding the true nature of a game and reflecting on it as a game and making that your game.
While at the same time being oblivious and blind towards the fact that even the master of the game is a participant. Mm-hmm. Subjected to the same rules, subjected to the same outcomes, subjected to the same feelings and the same death. May this be rule 1, to not isolate yourself from the whole, while staying true to yourself. We've looked it up, the etymology of game, where the word comes from. Ga coming from the syllable of togetherness, and me coming from the syllable of the individual. So may this be the rule of the whole, the rule of fractalization and of life, being together while being separated, and not forgetting about both at the same time. How can we invent rules that lead to death if we not forget that we are participators? That we're part of it, always.
Death is the great equalizer. It levels the playing field so that none of us, as much as we might think, are masters. The great master is death. And then death, even death, succumbs to life, which begins the game again, another turn in the game, another turn in infinity, infinite games, games that continue with no end. And the goal is, in fact, to keep the game going. That is the game. Music is an infinite game. The more we play, the more options we have of play, and the more fun it is to keep going. We don't want it to end. No winners or losers in music, actually. Maybe only winners in music. In any infinite game, there are only winners and no losers. And when we are tired, when we need a break, when our fingers hurt from the strings, when our voice is raw, we break the game. We have death for rest. And tomorrow we pick up the instruments again and continue the jam where we left off, to play the game as long as we can, as long as our breath holds out and our bodies hold out forever and ever. Amen.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, let's make more music.
Yeah.